Live at 5, baby. We on and popping. Masculinity Architect in the building. Live at 5, week 2. Got the angles popping. We got the Pocket, YouTube being here live. With our trusty Pocket 3 facial tracking, getting all that live footage. Let's go ahead and bring TikTok in this joint. TikTok tripping, y'all. Trying to go live on TikTok. They got me trying to verify my age. I'm trying to do it 3 times. They won't confirm. They won't take pictures of my ID. It's tragic. It's tragic. The TikTok community is not going to get live today. What's up? Work in progress. Y'all give me a second to get some people time to get in here. Fellas, I'm proud of you. Y'all have showed up, showed out. My men have stood up and said, we want this work. We want to put our hands on it. We want to get invested. We want to be better. I've got feedback, questions, suggestions as far as the topics. Polled a couple of audiences, a couple of men's communities I'm a part of, and give me all the opportunity. As always, drop it down in the comments. Hit me up in the DM. Like and subscribe, of course, if you haven't. We're going to get started in just a second. But I have a multitude, a bevy. I had a cat use that word. It's just so unheard of. But we have a multitude of options. Topics to discuss. All right, live on TikTok ain't going to happen. I'll test it out in between now and next week. But here we are, Masculinity Architect. I am Masculinity Architect, Duwayne Langham. This is Live at 5 with the Architect Direct every week, 5 p.m. Eastern. We in the building and having a discussion, chopping it up on this manhood, masculinity in modern times, divine masculine energy, and what it is to be men these days. So welcome, fellas. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. And thank you. The feedback, the overwhelming this week. Like, I literally have a list here of questions and topics that I've gotten from guys that you're dealing with stuff, and that's what this space is for. I'm out to create community. I'm out to give us the opportunity to have a space for these conversations, because that's what I do. My mantra: nobody told us, nobody showed us. It's been generations, it's been far too long. We don't have a rite of passage. We're missing so much, and everyone expects us to lead. So if you know what I'm about, you're here. You know that it's fuck that noise, right? Hell yes or hell no, and I'm a hell yes that we grow and be better, and hell no to the bullshit that's been out there. So with that, we'll jump right in, fellas. So for the next hour, we're gonna be diving in, going hard on some subjects. If you hear, let's just go over a couple of them here. How does a man, matter of fact, I'll just start from the top, right? What is masculinity? How does a man improve to that? What is masculinity, and is there one definition? That's a good fucking question, because the shit gets deep. And we'll be uncollapsing, right? Masculinity and manhood. I'm gonna go in, right? We got stuff to go into. But how does a man improve his masculinity? Taking it one step deeper, like, okay, we're clear on what this is, but what is everybody really trying to build and get access to? How do we make ourselves better men, or how do we ground ourselves further into our masculinity? That's the core of my work. Transactional modern relationships. Oh my God, these gender wars. It's hard out here in these streets. It's hard. Well, depends on what side of the coin you're on. I'm gonna be honest, fellas. You might be raking it in. You might have it exactly the way you want it. Burger King, no Diddy. Have it your way type shit. But really, that's a huge question, because it gets me ahead of myself. Relationships are transactions. There's an exchange of value. That's all I'll say for now. If we get to that when we get to it, we got a lot of stuff in the list. And this is how I'm going to operate as your community until we get to the point where I've got cats. I might have to set up like OBS Studio before we get to the point where I've got cats getting on the live with me to actually interact and ask the questions, which is the ultimate goal I'm working towards. Right now, you got the chat. You get in. Let me know that you're here. Drop a 1 in the comments. If you have a question, you got something that you want to hear, whatever you're dealing with, answers you're looking for, dropping them down in the chat is the best way to get it to me right now. And we're going to get this set up in the future so that we can actually interact, have a Q&A, have an actual discussion. But that's what this is about. And wherever, in any spaces, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you can reach your boy, Reach out. Let me know your questions. This is what I'm creating this space for. Setting boundaries. That's a powerful and good question on many levels. You already see the doctors in the house because it makes me want to dive in and start dissecting, do some surgery, but we'll keep it contained because I want to go, first come, first serve. And also, I will say I put them in order to a regard of what was the severity, the weight, the impact of the question. So that's why we're kicking off with that masculinity because, you're here with the masculinity archetype. What does that mean? What is masculinity in this day and age? What is manhood? But you can hear it, passionate about it, can't let it go. Other questions we got, getting your physical health in order. Guys, masculine energy is the doing. We're the assertive energy, we're the force, we're the bigger, broader, stronger energy. So with that, what we do in the physical, that's our whole world. That's literally what makes us who we are. And how you develop that is something important. Not only for the man that you want to be, but also on the back end for your health. Because fellas, mind over matter, over this body, this vessel that contains you. And if you're not taking care of that, it shows on the inside. You already know cancer, tumor, illnesses, disease, the body not at ease, not at rest, not being in your fullness, grounded in your potential, aligned with your source, all that stuff. But when that testosterone drop, fam, and that's what a lot of males, I won't even say men, males today are dealing with, is that our society is so restrained, so confined and restricted that our testosterone levels have depleted. Now, mind you, we don't need to be ready to go to war and battle, technically, by the legitimates. Every man, you do got to register for the draft, at least here in America. But we're not going to war as often. We're not chopping off heads. We're not killing each other, living by the sword, dying by the sword. In most demographics, in this comfortable, feminine-centric living existence. And with that, the testosterone that is required to push a man to be the sacrifice for the village, to say, no, I'm standing on something, standing 10 toes down for my life, my village, my tribe, my wife, my children, my legacy, for all of this life to continue. We don't have to do that anymore. And when it's so easy by monkey work, by literal AI software can replace us type shit, taking care of the daily jobs, you can have everything you need delivered to your doorstep. You can work remotely and provide a living, bare minimum type shit. You won't impact the world. You may not be remembered. You may not have a legacy, but it's so easy to get shit done, and testosterone's not needed for that. There's no risk. There's no challenge. And so there's no reward. And the impacts of that, oh, fam, what it does to you, the lack of the testosterone, the way it impacts your health, your immune system, what our bodies, our nature crave and need. But like I said, lots to go in on, huge topics and subjects. I'm just giving time for brothers to get in. I see y'all making it in here already. I appreciate you. Welcome. We're going to dive in with the quickness, but I want to give you the idea because these are the type of questions, if you've ever thought it yourself, drop it in the comments, shoot me a message, get your questions submitted every week. I'm here, and this is what we're going to be doing live to take care of it. Setting boundaries, getting your physical health in check, making time for rest and recreation, rest and relaxation. Do you feel me? It's a requirement, a necessity, and often, especially as men, especially masculinity, that's something we can take for granted because we're such doers. It's hard to just be, to just relax. And let's see, another one we got here. Whew, this one's deep. I don't know if I'll make it to this one, and it is its own, but difference in mission lived and survival. My G. As a man, not even in a braggadocious way, I feel blessed to serve, to be in a position where I have found, discovered, and claimed the right to be of service, be of value, and deliver what it is that I'm passionate about. And when you give yourself that mission, that focus, that drive, you see I'm here. You see I'm standing on position, ready to serve. Like, it's fucking fulfilling, guys. I'm so sincere. Like, when you can create what you're passionate about, when you can create what you're here for, when you can create what's important to you, and what you say is going to happen, how you say it's going to go, whether you're going to bring your family out of poverty, whether you're going to bring your family to the States, whether you're going to see that your children have education, whether you're going to see that cancer is cured, whether you're going to see that global warming, like, this is big type shit, legacy type shit, whether you decide you're going to take on the forefront and the battle to represent the mantra that nobody told men how to be men and how to be leaders and how to put a forward progress to this shit. When you find that mission, it's a lot different from just paying the bills. It's a lot different from getting by. And as you can see, yes, I have business and everything going, but it doesn't even have to be something. The fulfillment is better than the finance. The reward of who you get to be, the life you get to live, the power you get to take back, and having purpose in your life, knowing why God put you here. It makes every day that we wake up in this human life experience full of challenges, full of disruptions, full of setbacks, upsets. It makes it all worth it, fam. So, without further ado, we're going to jump right in. This week, it's a grab bag, and the first topic, when I put the title of the video, what is masculinity? Does it have one meaning? What's the definition? What is the standard? And that last part is what really stuck out to me, because that's what had me step into this work. Some time ago, I was a young man, wet behind the ears, no experience, just trying to figure out life, fearful like most of us. And I recognized what I would say modern society to manhood, modern Western society to manhood, is a bit of a wild, wild west. And when I say that, let me be responsible. What I mean by wild, wild west, for all the pressure and weight that's required of masculine, air boy, men. First, all right, yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself already. Let me back up. I gotta address the elephant in the room. When you ask the question, what is masculinity? In the state of things that the world is in most cases, you are talking about what makes a man a man. I assert, may not be the fact, but these are two different things. Masculinity and a man, manhood, gender, sex, man. Masculinity is an energy. It is a divine energy. It is energy that is within all of us. This feels like deja vu. On Mondays, I do the lives for the ladies over on my other channel, and live at 5, that's what we're talking about, breaking down femininity. And so I was going through the contrast of both. So anyway, masculine energy, divine masculine energy, because we are going to go into manhood later. But masculine energy, divine masculine energy, by that is a clear one definition. If you look at anything in life, if you keep in mind that you are, what we're in discussion about right now, what you are considering and inquiring about, is masculine energy, divine masculine energy. Google gives that a type of energy, boom, right off the bat, associated with action, focus, leadership, logic, and taking initiative. So, taking initiative, that one for me stands out the most, because that is the assertion. That is the associated with action. Masculine energy is the initiator. One of the biggest things, and a topic down the road we'll probably come back to, transactional modern relationships. It brings up the equality conversations. It brings up 50-50 conversations. It brings up, when I say equality, I'm talking about the skewed modern feminism movement. And I say that because that movement, specifically modern feminism, there's studies out there about its validity and what its intentions have been and what it's been maintained to be. However, modern feminism and the push for equality that both men have bought into and women is not pushing for the honoring acknowledgement of divine feminine energy. Modern feminist conversations have actually, in my opinion, turned into, mutated, morphed into a attack, a response, right? We've had the darkness of clear imbalance where one sex has been beneath the other socially. not the way of things, and it is the way the world has worked. Mainly because, to circle back in the differences of these energies, masculine energy, what is masculinity is our conversation. Masculine is the world of the physical, associated with action because you can see things in action. Masculinity is the doing energy, the forward progress, the initiator. It goes out to accomplish, to achieve. And so inside of that, things being seen in the physical world, and I'm not going to get too spiritual or into the ether and all that, but the other side of that, the duality of life, is that we have this physical space, and it's been out of balance because the unphysical, what can't be seen, the other side of the coin, that is the realm of the divine feminine. So much more expansive, so much more powerful. However, in our humanity, in our, I assert, smallness, infantileness, if you consider it to like the universe, the vastness, we're a speck of sand at the beach. But in all that we physically see in the world for masculinity, the infrastructure, the kingdoms and countries, the wars that have been fought to get to this point, all of society to this point, to the last, say, 50 to 100 years, feminine has been seen as less value, which ironic is the energy we're getting back now as men, because feminine energy has been seen as, by society as a whole, patriarchal society. What have you done lately? You have the women, you have the children, we give you the seed. You're not building anything. You're caring at home. All valuable things, don't get me wrong. I'm speaking to my occurrence of how society has viewed the energy to this point. And so when I bring it back, that modern feminist conversation is not actually about the equality of simply being and acknowledging that these energies are equal. These energies are in all of us. If we're talking about just the sexes and genders, men to women are equal. They are not the same. And without respect to that, without acknowledgement to that, we get all the ass backwards gender wars, everything that's going on in modern culture today. But we're not here to get into that. We're here to get into what is masculinity. Said directly, masculine energy. So again, it's the forward progress. It's the initiator. Masculinity, masculine energy is the doer. Getting things done, getting things built. It is logical and pragmatic. Traits, it's characterized by action, doing, assertiveness, ambition, making decisions, decisiveness, executive, to execute, to implement. That's why little boys don't learn the same way little girls do, unless they're taught, unless they're restricted, unless they are morphed and molded to do so. They have the feminine energy in them. However, the testosterone, the Y chromosomes, the yang, all that yang energy trying to get out there, it doesn't sit still to receive, open up, and be poured into. It has to be poured into. Mature masculine energy, recognizing it can't do it all, recognizing it didn't come from nothing, recognizing that forefathers and others with knowledge and experience, because masculine energy experiences, learns, grows, and matures through the doing. It needs to experience it. Therefore, it's going to respect elders. It's going to respect something that's been so missing, so key and vital in society, a rite of passage. Show me what to do, I can do it. I can be a leader. I can step up because I've killed a lion, because I've seen the ways and traits of my village, of the legacy of the forefathers before me, how and what we do, killing wolves, killing lions, going to war, going to battle, whatever it is that we need to do. Psychoactive ingredients, putting your hand in a glove full of ants that release hallucinogens. There's all kinds of these, while primitive, natural, instinctual rite of passages that teach men, aka masculine, how to do what it needs to do to be a leader, to be the bigger and badder, to serve the greater good, humanity, and to know that it needs to be humbled, to take direction, guidance, knowledge from what has come before, from a higher source, from elders, from wisdom, all these things. Now let me get off my pulpit, right? So that's the world of masculine energy. Now I also want to give you some of the opposites, because it's not just, okay, where do you see that? You can also acknowledge what you see. Give me a hot sec. Checking the audio. So we got cameras and stuff going. Yeah, we should be good. Also, right, the opposite of that is empathy, compassion, creativity, passiveness, indecisiveness, the way of being. Masculine answers the question, who am I? Grounded rock, solid, stable, reliable. In the swirl of the feminine, the chaos, not negative, just chaos, unpredictable, all around, everything. The swirl of life is all the feminine energy, and the masculine remains grounded and strong. Masculine makes decisions, side, scissors, cut. We have to make a decision, cut this off, go that way. Feminine can't do that because there's FOMO. What if we cut this person off? We're connected, we're nurturing, we're collaborative, creative. You lose all that inside of the feminine energy. I'm giving you the understanding between the two. So, go deeper. Communication. Communication with masculine is direct. Matter of fact, this I've learned inside of my own men's work. Traditional rituals, men, and therefore masculine energy, is actually little about words, limited in words, and that still today stands. The average woman, I think, is about 16,000 words, something like that, 12 to 16,000. The average man is maybe about 6 or 7. And that's just average, and those are just basics of men and women, but the context, masculinity. Do you know that our ancient tribes and villages didn't use as many words at all? When they spent the days, weeks, months away from the village hunting, they used sounds, they used grunts, they used signals, they used eye contact. Some of the similar things that you do in military still, like it still stands, because maybe you need to be covert. Maybe you need to understand quick, simple instructions because we're fucking hunting a tiger, a woolly mammoth, whatever the hell that can kill us and take us out. The neighboring village, we need ways to communicate effectively inside of our essence and our being. That's why masculine doesn't communicate in the same way. We want facts, we want data, we want information, we want to go execute. Little to no emphasis on feelings whatsoever. It's all about the facts. I don't need the story, I don't need the backlog, I don't need to know how you felt about it. Here's an exact flip, right? I told you I'm always give you the counter. In the world of feminine, talking with your lady, fellas, if you've had a relationship, if you've had a woman in your life, children, daughters, partner, mother, whomever, you're in communication with them and you want to be there for them. You want to support them. You're that safe haven for them. And they're talking and sharing about their day. That bitch Sandra over an accountant, she gets on my fucking nerves so much. Oh my god. Now mind you, that's not your feminine woman communicating like that. But the context of how somebody gets on their nerves, how somebody's talking about them, how somebody infringed upon them, transgressed. They're upset, they're riled up. You try and tell them, well, why don't you take it to a manager? You try and help them, right? We're men, we're masculine, we're hearing this energy, we want to protect and provide for our women. We don't care about all these emotions. Like, let's just solve a problem. Let's fix it to tomorrow is a better day. That is masculine energy. Build up. Make it better. Feminine, are you even listening? Do you get it? I don't want to do that. I don't need a solution. I'm not going to, like, they get frustrated with it. They just want to be felt. They just want to be heard. They just want to be understood. Now, fellas, and especially, we're big men here. We're emotionally intelligent. We take on our emotions. Have you ever been in an environment with your boys and you're being real? You get vulnerable. You open up. Now, it's got to be a safe space. It's got to be fellowship. It's got to be men ready for it. You might have it at the barbershop, but maybe you talk one-on-one with somebody, another man, and you open up and be vulnerable. Have you ever found that you're in too deep emotionally for him? You may not even be bawling out tears, but you're talking about some real shit. We're men. We go through struggles. We have challenges. And have you ever had that man not be able to be with it? It's all right, man. It's gonna be okay, bro. I'm a coach, masculinity architect. I got people in my life and in my world who I've been there for, talked them off the ledge and all that, and I'm the only one. Now, I'm not pointing a finger complaining. These are masculine ways. A lot of men aren't equipped, aren't ready, don't know how to do it for themselves, let alone for others. But that's the context of where we are. Masculine is not about that. Let me help you solve those problems. And if I can't, I'm here for you, brother. We've lost track of the wounds and spears we used to pull out of each other. I'm going to go into some deep shit, right? I've received some training and development. I'm not going to speak directly to it. And my experience of it, that I will share, space of confidentiality where I've been. My experiences in this training got me present to the primitive, like take it back to Braveheart or even further back. War and battle. Again, men are away from the home, the comfort of the womb, the village, the feminine, the softness, the kids, the walls, the protection, the comforts of the kingdom, as I call it. Today, it looks like your house, your car, your job, whatever makes you comfortable in your life, your clothes, your money, all that. When men are out in those spaces with other men and they go to battle or they're grinding it out, they got to travel for weeks and months to get there. They get attacked, they go to war, they have losses. These are your brothers, sometimes literally by blood, not just familial, but you shed blood. That's a whole nother bond for life. Like, I can trust you with my life, best believe. That's your brother for life. And we take losses. Timmy does not make it. That is a strong distinction in my work. If you have ideals, you have no idea. They can paint a picture of how perfect life is supposed to be, but that's not real life. And as I keep saying, men, masculinity, learns by example, learns by the experience. And so what that means is that we got to bump our heads. We got to suffer losses. We got to learn the lessons. We got to burn ourselves on the stove. We have to experience it to learn from it, to get that important data, and we course correct. Build ourselves bigger and stronger. We can't have fear. We have to go forward. It's just designed this way. These are natural laws. But so with that, as we go through those experiences, as Timmy doesn't make it, as you lose brothers, friends, there's some things that you just can't pull out. You can grab an arrow, get that out of there. But a spear, some shit in your ribs, some shit on your back, you need your men for that. You need fellowship. You need others who understand, who have been away for 3 months, away for weeks on end, days on end, who haven't seen home, haven't seen their newborn children, haven't seen their woman, haven't had the softness of a woman, have not cried from all the losses, have not had time, just trying to survive famine and hunger while they're so far away from supplies and all the comforts. Like, this is why our testosterone I was talking about is not what it used to be, because there's a different condition of life that we're not used to, that we're not exposed to, that doesn't exist in modern society. Those spaces we have not evolved past. So what used to give us space and distance, where we didn't spend the entire day around our women, with access to our women, they can page you, text you, message you, share Instagram laughs and shit all day. None of that was around. And so when that happens, you've only got your men. When that happens, you're only communicating a certain way. So how you get your fellowship, how you get your healing, how you get your therapy looks completely different. And those are things that we don't utilize and access today. So on a side tangent into that, but I just had to create the world because it makes so much sense for me. What drives me about this work, not only just my passion for psychology, understanding our humanity, sociology, social dynamics, but in understanding, in bringing light to the darkness and bringing things out of the blind spots, you get access to really do something incredible. You get access to tap into that brilliance of humanity. Even the information we're talking about here tonight, when you understand your divine masculine and your divine feminine, you tap into your higher power. You tap into the balance that has you experience a better quality of life, of understanding for yourself and others, better relationships, better everything. And when you can do that, it's a game changer. So I'll leave that there and we'll come bring it back. What are the other factors of masculinity? What is masculinity? We talked about the communication. We talked about feminine communication. It's indirect. It's passive. It's feelings. It's emotions. It's descriptive of the texture and the experience. Oh, we're outside. It was so hot. It was beating off of my skin. I was so exhausted. I just wanted a popsicle the whole time. I just wanted some water, something to quench my thirst. The warmth of snuggling up with some tea in the winter by a fireplace, and I love the holidays and everybody's happy and cheerful. It's the experience. They're talking because in the feminine world, it's emotions, it's feelings, it's all the things that you cannot see. So it takes a lot more words to describe and pinpoint the emotions. Do you know that when you have pain, you feel something first as a human being? You can't articulate what you feel. That's why communicating, and especially in relationships, is such a high-end skill, because if you can't communicate what you feel, if you can't be aware of yourself to get in touch with what you feel, then you can never process to articulate it to others. making you ineffective in communication. But that's how powerful feelings are, is that words don't really match to them. And so women, feminine, communicate so much more because the entire world behind it is that their view, their perspective, their way of life. Feminine is not navigating through, I'm big, I'm bad, I can see it, I can lift it, I can do it, I have everything, my heart is bigger, pumping more blood, my bones are thicker, stronger, I'll just go risk it, I'll go explore, I'll go find out, I'll go journey, I'll go adventure. Not that they can't, they have that energy. I'm talking about the physical world of what's not in touch with that, because inside the feminine, you don't need all that. I need to have my heart in alignment. I need to have my chakras in check. I need to be tapped into source to align and feel. I need to connect with others through words, through exchange. That's a completely different environment. So yes, their communication, their traits, everything is going to be completely different, but this is masculinity. Last thing I'll touch on, masculine is the left-brained hemisphere. Why? Because we're logical, we're pragmatic, analytical. We need the facts, we need the mathematical. We are spatial thinkers. My fellas out there, you might be able to attest, when it comes to moving time, when it comes to packing time, I feel, my experience as a left-brained, as a masculine man, my left brain, my masculine energy, because again, all these things are just the side of the coin, and we all have both sides. I've got my divine feminine. I'm into all of this as well, because you got to have balance. We'll get to that later. But in that, what I was talking about, going moving, you ever have a bunch of stuff, you ever planning where you're going to unfold and set up the tree, and you as the man, left brain thinker, masculine, yep, I can see the space. We're going to do that there, we'll have enough room for that. It's not going to work like that. You know what I'm talking about, right? The spatial comprehension and thinking. Feminine's not into that. It's not good, bad, right, or wrong. It's not a negative. It's just a context of a difference. We are equal. We're just not the same. It looks different. And that's something that masculine is going to thrive in, feminine is not. Whereas feminine may tell you, even coming down to directions, masculine, give me the street, turn on First Street, go down 2 miles, take a left, take another left, then you're going to go straight for about 6 miles. It's going to be on the right, the apartments are called, the housing community is called, ... Data, follow it. The same directions, I don't know the address, I can't tell you what streets to go on, I can't tell you how far it was, but you're going to come across the experience. You're going to see the McDonald's and smell those fries outside. You're going to see all the Christmas lights of the really nice neighborhood down the street. You might see a couple of nice cars because you're now on the nice side of town. And every time I'm over here is when I'm doing my grocery run. I love going over there because they got the clearance rack, and I get all my best sales at the store here. After you pass that, just drive for a little bit and you'll see the house coming up on the right. Completely different description, both completely accurate. But that's the difference in the masculine communication and the feminine communication. That right brain of the feminine energy is more likely to be creative. It's more going to be socially aware, intuition, tapping into that spirit, the unseen things, the creativity and skill. Now, of course, with any of these features and things, bringing it all back, masculine, feminine, these are divine energies, universal principles and laws, and every man, woman, and child has both inside of them. What you're dominant in is usually what you drive with. Typically it is connected to the sex. It is a social paradigm. It is something, boys get blue, girls get pink, dolls, trucks, Tonka toys, and tools. There are some conditionings to it, and we're human beings, infinite potential. Children of God, you can be any kind of way that you're going to be. Does it work for society? That's a whole other question. But simply speaking to these energies, being responsible, that's the world of masculinity. Is there one meaning for it? For masculinity, yes. And again, that's where I uncollapsed, pull apart masculine energy, males, men, manhood. 2 completely different conversations. So I love that. That's been our first 30 minutes. That one was powerful, because I think that initial clarity helps a lot of men and women really get access to the work that I do. Unfortunately, in today's day and age, it's changing because people are starting to become aware. People are starting to be curious and need to tap into it. But the whole understanding that energy, a couple of years ago, it was safe to say that toxic masculinity could be the first way a young person, man or woman, or anything else under the sun, could come across masculinity. And I feel that that's a tragedy because it's something completely falsified. And this is my own personal belief. In the same way, God is love. In the same way, God is pure, right? They're energies, so they are pure. There's, again, God is love. There's the presence of, or there's the lack of it. There's masculine energy, or the lack of it, which counters with feminine energy. But the world of toxicity, there's usually just a lack. If there's a lack of masculine, for the sake, we'll talk about masculine. If there's a lack of masculine, it's most likely because that masculine, as I prefer to say, is immature. It is undeveloped. It develops through experience. And you cannot expect a 10-year-old, 13-year-old, 15-year-old boy to operate like a grown-ass 25, 35, 45-year-old man. There's a pecking order. There's stages to this shit. You don't just jump in and do that. So there are shadow elements. Yeah, there are dark sides to these divine, masculine, and feminine energies. Are they toxic? For me, that's a no. They're energy. Energy is pure. It's either there or it's not. It's personified. It's humanized to make it bad, to make it wrong. That's our judgment. That's our view. You're entitled to it. Doesn't make what you're saying false. And yeah, that's really it. Because even to that, right, to really articulate it, masculine energy, which is focused in who am I. I'll show you the two parts. So at the surface of that masculine energy can be so self-centered, so focused that it becomes selfish. That given power, it becomes a tyrant. That's immature masculine energy. Why? Flip it. Masculine, who am I? Grounded rock, provide, protecting, and cherishing, the lead, the initiator. Nobody wants to be a leader because leaders are responsible for everyone. Life, our genes, just humanity, we want the easy button. That was easy. Somebody else can do it, that's easy. They can deliver my food to the door, that's easy. I can work remotely, that's easy. We want the easiest solution. And it's not necessarily a flaw, it's actually a design of life. Our bodies, Earth. There's not a thing in life that doesn't design itself to be as efficient and effective as possible, to save resources. Your bodies, use it or lose it. If you ain't walking, if you ain't stretching, if you're not lifting, we talked about that physical health, you will lose it. Your body will atrophy naturally because it requires calories to contain and maintain that. So no different. Human beings, if I don't have to expend that energy, if I don't have to do that, and therefore leadership, taking the responsibility of everyone, right? It's a natural masculine design to lead. Somebody's got to lead between divine feminine and masculine. If masculine is not willing to do that, or if masculine is so self-centered, like I said, that shadow example, you can't be a good leader if you don't think about anybody else but yourself. It is masculine. Who am I? I am a selfish motherfucker. I am somebody who doesn't give a fuck about anybody else. I am here about myself, narcissistic, all those traits. Would I judge that toxic relationship, unhealthy practices? Absolutely, no doubt to that. Is it toxic masculinity? No, it's actually a lack of mature masculinity, developed masculinity. So I could go all day about the divine energies. Let's move on, bring something else into the mix. I see people dropping in. I love it. Man, what commotion. What up, man? Appreciate that. Got the love. Keep it 100. That's what I'm talking about. And yeah, it's one of my guys from the community. Dropped that love in here and made the suggestion for it. So I'm happy y'all dropped the questions because I got these answers. I'll just drop a quick emoji. I gotta get the experience on live, but I appreciate that love. Welcome, drop your questions down in the chat every week live at 5 with the Masculinity Architect. Continuing on the topics of today, we already covered what is masculinity, getting the clearing on that. Is it one meaning, one definition, one standard? Because that standard is about manhood. And this is good because this is where I'm going to bring in manhood. Second part of the question, or next question, how does a man improve his masculinity? You're now clear that your masculine is your divine energy, which heavily correlates to your walk in your manhood. We'll be straight about that. but it's good and mature to have the clearing in the background to understand they're not the same thing. So how do you improve your masculinity? Acknowledging that you understand what masculine is about, what it serves, what it's here for. First, let's clarify, right? Masculinity itself, separate from the energy, is a social construct. Now, this is why I say, well, that sounds like saying the same fucking thing. So I'm going to go ahead and say that's your manhood. And how do you ground your masculine energy inside of your manhood? How does one improve your manhood or masculinity, said another way? So to start off with that, manhood, which is why that whole standard thing is a social construct that refers to a set of behaviors, languages, practices that are commonly associated with men. Answers the question, who am I? So how do you grow in your masculinity? How do you ground your masculinity? Practice, obviously. Utilizing the muscle to develop. It's 70 degrees, we got some good weather, and this is how you know we live and direct. Because I'm lived up, but this mic that we're live on, you might be getting the sound of everything. And somebody out front done pulled up with all kinds of stuff going on. So that's going on in the background. We'll just let it be what it is. We flowing, we going, we in this thing. Got some noise cancellation on the mic, so hopefully that's working. Shout out DJI Pocket 3 technology in the building. All right, so how do you grow that masculinity? Through getting the reps in. Why is that? Masculine is demonstrated through it. Ahead of myself. Masculinity is exercised, executed, expanded, and grown through demonstrated capacity, your demonstrated capability. I talked about it earlier. Men used to be away from the village, away from the tribe, away from the comforts of the kingdom and the womb, the women, the children, all the soft life as we call it today. While they're out there with those men, something occurs. It's the world of masculine. So what happens in the world of masculine? The world of men, most importantly. It's hard. It's rough. There's not emotions. We're talking about battle. We're talking about life and death. My brother didn't make it back from the last fight. I've got a fucking axe that took my foot. And I mean, you get what it is. You've seen war. You know what that world is. But that's the world of men. Manhood. It's about honor, respect, reliability. These are demonstrated capacities. You are honored in the world of men. Why I'm talking about this world of manhood and men, because you are honored inside of that. Honored as a status, reputation, based on how the man next to you reports on you. You know, 300. I love those videos up on the channel. Spartans! One of my favorites, because it just demonstrates with such visceral, palpable energy. Man to man, you're trusting each other. What is it? Army of 300 took on millions in the movie. Hundreds of thousands, whatever the numbers were. Somebody corrected me in a comment before about that. But the whole context being is in that world, your demonstrated capacities. How good are you with the sword? How good are you at scouting? How good are you at your skill set, your value? Right now, this is a demonstrated capacity for me. You know that you can tune in and get this knowledge, get this business. My boy Commotion just dropped down in the comments, dropping that knowledge. That's a demonstrated capacity. How do you develop in your manhood and masculinity? By developing yourself brick by brick by brick. Building yourself up in all areas of life. Your knowledge, your physical strength. We talked about that. How do you, how do you get physical health in check? Well, inside of your masculinity, by default, it's something that you have to build up. So if you want to be a runner, you need to be running every day, doing some sprints. Long distance if you're doing conditioning, cross country. If you're doing sprints, short distances, a different set of exercises, a particular set of skills on some taking shit. But the whole context is that demonstrated capacity. If you want to be known for something, you have to do that thing. And in the doing, masculine, you demonstrate your capacity. You learn it, you practice it, you exercise it, you execute it. All of it, that's how you build anything. Now, I talk about that in the simplicity of it, right? We grow through the experience of the doing, which requires us to also demonstrate the values that pay forward. Discipline, dedication. reliability in the face of unfavorable circumstances and emotions. That's the kicker. Because anybody can be motivated, inspired. You can get off your ass and do something for a day or two, right? They say power of 3. Do something for 3 days. Stick to it. Do it for 3 weeks. Do it for 3 months. It's a habit. It's habitual. You've got so much experience. You've basically put the momentum the other way, and now it's just full steam ahead. It's part of your character and who you are. That took discipline. That took dedication. That took sacrifice. And in that, people are men. That's where we measure it. The honor. We're seeing you do it. Shout out. You can see how long the channel's been here. We're about to cross 500 subscribers. Hopefully, if you haven't liked and subscribed, go ahead and get on the channel right now. Share it to somebody who needs this knowledge right now. About to pass 500 subscribers. It's like my 6th channel too, so I've been doing this thing for a minute. But the whole context being that takes dedication. That is a demonstrated capacity. We live off the top of the head. You got questions, I got answers. Demonstrated capacity. Whatever your skill set is, you will be accepted into the tribe amongst the men. You will be honored, revered, respected because of what you do. You show that you're a man of integrity. You show that you're a man of your word. These don't have to be huge world-changing things, and yes, they can as well. That's the one man that can drop exactly what that is. Whoever's the GOAT. Why? Mastery. They've had that 10,000 hours at their craft. They're chopping the wood every day, rain, sleet, or snow, brick by brick, growing the skill. Think about that. Every single time you do something, you've seen the archers out there who can bust out a bow and split another bow into a bullseye down the middle. Like, that's a craft. That is artwork. That is beauty. And nobody, I don't care what kind of fucking savant they are, picked up a bow and arrow and made that shit happen right off the bat. That was a practice skill. That develops your masculinity. The other side of that socially is that when men see that, when other men honor that and respect that in the world of men, that is how you improve your masculinity, because it is honored. That's how you grow your manhood. And this is huge, right? Because this whole world that I'm talking about, I'm speaking about it from a context of textbooks, not what I've picked up to study about. I'm speaking about in my life experience, 40 years on this earth of life, a father, a husband, all of it, divorce, everything. I'm speaking to the things that don't exist. I have experienced it enough. And this has been my calling for some time because nobody told us. And as I've found to be the change that I wanted to see in the world, I've experienced more and more profoundly gotten understanding of how much of a fucking missing it is. Because as we are expected to be leaders, as we expected to man up, as we are expected to figure it out, every single one of us motherfuckers is a little boy inside with nobody showing us how the fuck to do it. That's a fucking tragedy. Not just for us, not just for the human experience. That's a fucking tragedy for the society that is reliant upon those men, us. It's said out there that, the U.S. is looking like lunch money right now. Soft, no discipline, no dedication, average, scrolling, lack of testosterone, all these other things. That's a fucking tragedy. And I don't mean it in the context of us and them, what other countries could invade, make light work of us, whatever. I don't even believe in that type shit. But the context is that's humanity stalled out. My home, America, bastardized home, was once a great nation, was once at the forefront of development, innovation, moving forward, changing life, putting men on the moon, other planets and type shit. Now, to a degree, we still are, but so much has changed. And at the core of that, as a nation, as a proud people, as men, manhood, masculinity in the world of the modern West, it's a fucking tragedy out here. The bar is so... I'm passionate about this shit, if you can't tell. The bar is so low. Being a high value man, 1% man, all these things that we idealize and put out there, what makes statistically a man and the best of men is such a low bar. And when I say low, I mean try. If you try, you're in the top 10%. If you watch a video like this and actually take it and apply one thing, you are in the top 10%. You are the best of the best. That is how low it is. That is the average. That is how easy it is to get by in life. That is how neglected this is. Why? Because our tribes and villages, our little boys in us on a societal level, I don't give a fuck what color you are or where you came from. Well, where you came from might still have these traits. But these are things that have been forgotten, and it's a fucking tragedy for society, where a discussion amongst men is, well, what is manhood? What is masculinity? I'm glad. This is job security. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to serve. That's a mission. I'm gonna let you in on something, fellas. We're gonna sidetrack. I don't know about all these other questions and shit, but this is. Can we go to church? Can you come on in and get a plate? Let's get it. Leadership, as I see it, Dwayne Langham, Beyond Empowered Network, out to transform the world. Leadership is a call to what you see that doesn't work. Life, a lot of times our humanity gets caught up and gets mad at God, gets mad at our ideals, gets mad at the other people, us and them, gets mad at the world because of how much bad and negative is out there. If we take a step back and look at how small we are, I think it's the way of things, by nature, by default. Lions has got to eat a motherfucker to live. It's just happening. And so with that, we can't have the light, the innovation, the evolution, the advancement of society, humanity, without the dark. And so I think it is something very special and potential that can be available in this time frame in life. Because in this space where we have fallen off for so many things, the conversations for equality, the acknowledgement of our more powerful divine energy, divine feminine, is coming to the front. I'm here pushing for both sides, because the same thing in the gender wars, in the separation, when there aren't leaders, when the future boys, young men, adolescents are lacking the guidance, lacking great fucking kings, like fucking Black Panther, loyal citizen of Zamunda looking shit, Wakanda forever, all like when, and I don't even mean to speak directly to my background, but as a whole, that is the shit that is missing. And without that, that is a travesty, because generations of boys, households, villages, families, communities, nations, all of it cascadingly. You see the bullshit from the politics to the business to the capitalism to the racism, discrimination, everywhere that it is. I'm on my pulpit about it because this is why I'm called to it. If we don't have leaders, if we don't have leadership, and circling back to what we're in a conversation for a while, what the fuck am I talking about? I'm talking about masculinity. Mature, grounded, masculine energy. Generations of men who know what this is and know how to live it, know how to honor it, know how to acknowledge it, know how to develop it for themselves. And I mean for everyone. Those who benefit, the women and children, the men who have purpose, the young men who have direction and guidance and someone to look up to and someone to be like, and someone there to love them, to guide them, to show them, to help them navigate this shit that we got to navigate. That's what I'm here for. That's why we do what we do. That's why these conversations exist, and that's the shit that gets me excited. So bringing it home, talked about it a little. How do you improve your masculinity? Build up your strength. If you hear something that is wrong in the world, I said that leadership is a call to what's wrong. That's calling your leadership. When you see something in the world that doesn't look right, that's a missing. My mantra, nobody told us. Well, fuck that. I'm gonna tell somebody. I'm gonna tell everybody. You just have to do that because it's a calling to your leadership. We got to get back in touch with that, fellas. How do you improve your masculinity, your manhood? Step up and lead. Change your life. Starts with who am I? Change yourself. Transform. Build yourself into the type of individual, human being, man that you want to be. Build a relationship that you want to see. Only qualify, vet, entertain, divest your resources into the women that are the level and quality of queenhood that you want, because we're feeding it. The simping, the OnlyFans, I don't partake, but as a society, it only exists. Feminine follows the lead. There's so many deprived, neglected. I understand why the problems are there. If so many men were not feeding into double heart tapping, whatever, giving all the attention to the BBL and attention seeking and whatever else is out there, so many distractions, the women wouldn't follow and value that. Anyway, I'm not one who believes in the complaining context, and it talks to me so deeply, so powerfully. Your strength, building yourself up, your mental, physical, and emotional prowess is how you develop your masculinity. A man who breaks down, not weak because he's imperfect, because he's got chinks in the armor, because he's a human fucking being. That doesn't make a man weak. When he doesn't know how to accept and honor that. And that's the whole taking in guidance, taking in wisdom, direction from a higher power. When you think that you've got to be it, the alpha and omega, beginning and end, it starts and ends with you, you're lost. You're a fucking human being. You're not the first, you won't be the last. You came into this world with nothing and built from nothing. So honoring to respect that, to tap into, that you can be big enough to admit you're wrong, big enough to admit you don't know, big enough to admit you need help, big enough to admit that you're having a hard time. That is strength. Because nobody wants to be a leader. But when you step into leadership, for those of you that are brave enough, forced into it, whatever the case may be, one thing you will quickly recognize, it's not about having all the answers. It's about remaining calm, cool, and collected, and being willing to be someone who is determined enough to make a way, to have the dedication, the discipline, the consistency, to find the answers, to be committed to, I don't like this, this doesn't work, I'm not a stand for this, this is who I am, and I'm a stand for, I'm going forward. They can take our lives, but they can't take our freedom. That's a quote that means something. That takes power, that takes strength, that takes courage. And mental, to withstand the shit that we go through, power is required. Physical, to keep going through the harshness, to keep yourself healthy, to keep going day in, day out, to hold up others, to be a pillar for the community and the society. That takes physical strength. And emotional, we already know that. And that doesn't mean turned off, non-existent, neglectful to your energy. Going back to that R&R, going back to making time for rest and recreation, rest and relaxation, when to be easy, when to just be, when to feel. That takes emotional strength to recognize that you need balance, to recognize that you can't just keep going forever and ever and ever and ever. All work, no play, makes Jack a dull boy, all that good shit. The number one thing, fellas, I gotta bring this home. How does a man improve his masculinity? The number one way, simple. If you heard anything from this discussion over the last hour, the number one thing you can do to improve your manhood, to improve your masculinity, is to develop your integrity. Rock solid integrity. Who you say you are. Do that. You see how live it is? They turn the lights out on us. You feel me? This is live. Demonstrated capacity? Your boy got the gear? Your boy got I got what I need. I'm prepared. I do this. So we got another battery on deck. Demonstrated capacity, baby. Masculinity, manhood, I'm in here, prepared. What they say? All the answers, ready to go. Man, come on, man. This is masculinity. Integrity. That really is good right there, right? So when I say integrity, what is integrity? It's a whole world. We're going to give you an extra 5 minutes here. You ready? Pull up, get a plate. You got this. Integrity is your word. What you say you do, you do. Who you say you are, you be that. Your women are going to test it. Your children are going to test it. Society, politics, the world is going to test that. But if you keep your integrity, when you say you're going to be somewhere, you be there. When you say you're going to do something, do that. And here, I want you to get, this is heavy. Integrity is not morality. Integrity is not perfection. If you said you were going to do a thing, and as soon as you know that you can no longer do the thing, you get in communication about that thing. It has integrity to honor that my word, as good as gold, told you this was going to happen at 6 o'clock. 5 o'clock, we got live at 5, we got it. Can't get on TikTok? Hey, but I was here. I'm doing it. Integrity. We're going to figure it out. By next week, we're going to do whatever we need to do to get the idea together. Integrity. The light goes out. I'm a masculinity architect. I'm Dwayne Langham, here to serve. I found a purpose and a passion and a calling. Do I have an extra battery on deck to keep the lights on? I just swapped that one out. I'm really surprised that it went out in less than an hour. So, everything. I got the charger sitting over there. I'm swapping out batteries. I'm ready to go. We got camera angles. I'm prepared. I do this. This is my purpose. This is my stand. What do they call it? My station. I've received orders. I understood the assignment. I'm here. I'm standing on it. That is integrity, fellas. If you can get that. He said he was going to be there. Something came up. Life happened. Okay, got it. That's the, but who are you? Masculinity. Who am I? Oh, I'm right ready. Stay ready. You ain't got to get ready. Ain't that what they say? Let me reach over. Get the battery popped in. We're good to go. Less than 30 seconds. Can't hold your boy down by any means necessary. The grounded rock is the chaos all around, doing everything that it's doing. That's integrity, fellas. Rain, sleet, or snow. This is how it's gonna go. That's integrity. When you hold it to that regard. When I say I'm a man who does something, I follow up and do it. Others are listening for that. Is he reliable? Is he dependable? Well, he said that before. He did this before. I told you I got 6 channels. I told you I've been up to this for some time. If you look, this channel started in 2019. It was 2023, beginning of the year, where I took it seriously and went from 34 subscribers to 350. And now we're about to cross that 500. I'm going to say in the next week or so. Might do it after this call. You feel me? Get to it. Hit the button. But the whole context is integrity. I did not do because I was not in alignment. I was not ready. Working on my business, working on my craft, working on who I am, going through my own life experiences. I'm here. I'm here for you. This is my stand. This is what I do. This is who I am. This is how I serve. This is my fulfillment. Integrity. If you can get that for yourself, get some, boy. You get integrity in your life where people know who you are, know that they can expect you to come through. Comments is blowing up. I appreciate you, bro. Love that. You get integrity, fellas. You will always be grounded in your masculinity. And it even gives you the direction, that filter. This is my last secret before I let you go. That filter of integrity. Did I say I was going to do it? Did I say this is where I'm going? Did I say this is who I am? That leaves a listening in the world. You create something as a leader. Society, women, children, family, legacy, life it fucking self. Do you get that, fellas? Don't be no deadbeat motherfucker out here. You put your words to something, another human being, a woman, your mama, your sister, your daughter, your brother, they're trusting and believing your fucking word. Who you said you were, what you said you were going to do. If you can get that, whether you have children or not, on your seed, on your legacy, it's only going to be if you're that motherfucker, if you're him, if you're that guy. It takes something to be that. It takes something to do that. And if you're not doing it, it's your integrity. It's not good, bad, right, or wrong. I want to say this responsibly because I have trained and developed to understand integrity. I've done that work, the guilt, the shame, the blame, the procrastination, the over-analyzation, what they say, analysis paralysis. I don't want to fear failure, fear success, all these other things. It's not morality. It's not good, bad, right, or wrong. It's just managing your word. I want to go in on this because this makes great men. The core of masculinity is who am I? So, brother, I got to ask you, who the fuck do you say that you are? It's not my version of manhood. It's not life's version of manhood. This whole discussion, what is masculinity? Because there isn't a standard, because every single child of God, every man out here. Another conversation, all the masculinity out here. That's in every single one of us. That's a tree of life sprouting. And every branch sprouts out more and more and more. But you determine and you say and you put your word to who you're going to be. What's going to happen in your lifespan? Is your family never going to come up? Is your wife never going to be treated the way she dreams to be? Are you never going to be a quality man? Are you never going to succeed in the way that you said you were? Nobody set the bar. Nobody said it's got to be competing with the Joneses. Nobody said it's got to be the social media bullshit. It ain't got to be what I say. It's just got to be what you say. If you get anything out of this conversation, what is masculinity? What is manhood? It's your word. It's whatever the fuck you say it is. And can't nobody take that away from you. Now, whether or not you take it away from you, all the power in the world for that. But when you get on this, when you stand on business, when you decide who you're going to be and show up to be that shit, no questions asked, bro, black card on deck. Got them Bezos bucks. You feel me? Like you just in this place because the bar is so low. It's easy pickings out here. How can you not be a top 10%? Go to the fucking gym. Put some shoes on and go for a run. Do some push-ups when you're done. Do that every day. You're going to be straight. Watch what you eat. You know? Find something you love. Go do it. Set a goal for something and go achieve it. And guess what that does? Big up. Mario with the mushroom. Now you puffed your chest out. You done something. You've accomplished something. Masculine grows and learns through the experience. You see it. I'm tying all this shit together. This is real talk, fam. All right. With that, that's the Live at 5. We've been in it for an hour. I told you I had a list of questions. Drop your comments down below. Shoot me a DM. Whatever you want to know. You got questions. I got answers. This is Live at 5 with the Architect every week. 5 p.m. Wednesday, Eastern Standard. We're going to get it on TikTok too. You ladies need some of the knowledge on the divine feminine side? I got you. Building the Architect. Send them over to the other page. We go live Monday. Ladies first. You know, got to take care of them. I appreciate you. I thank you. I love you. I'm honored to be a contribution. I hope you got value. Share this with a man that you care about. Share this with somebody that you know needs to hear this message. And in the meantime, I'm going to be right here, being the best version of myself. One could say beyond empowered. The question is, fellas, who are you?